Motrimis mama la capre, motrimis mama la capre.
Previously on
Let's get it on! The potato-loving elves, they are coming up. Slaughter, the inhumanity. The inhumanity. Officially lost the gates. I think the Illyrians with ease. Wow, this is really encouraging. But I think these are the last stands of these men.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
And welcome to an exciting new episode of Let's Get It On, where apparently we have been tasked by our god to stop a sex cult from getting out of hand. Because as much as we like to do our nightly orgies, this is no way of worshipping our one true god Zalmoxis. So we need to address in this hopefully last step of our holy crusade to get control of Holy Mount Kogainon, where Zalmoxis went into a cave, died, and 3 days later came back and became our beloved god. Our formation is the same jagged formation for the generation, where we have our Marvel line here with Xenos Scum trap, backed up by our X-Men and by the Celto-Thracian sellswords, who are more or less our elite fighters, not counting our Potulatense, the crazy folksmen that are deep in reserves, ready to answer to where our line will eventually break. And here we have in between our first line and second line, we have our archer line, who are just baiting the enemy and then basically retreating, and our infantry flankers, the two well, at least 1.5 unit of youths that are ready to try and flank the enemy. And of course the cavalry was on our extreme flank, but they ran up ahead because everything disappeared, because the king went on some aggressive scouting, and he got lost or something way before the actual army showed up. So we came to take advantage of that, because why not? This is a light snack before the actual fighting start. What unit is this actually? I thought he was on horse. This is not King Pietroporos. This was General Pietroporos. Now King Pietroporos, because King Pietroporos, the original, died. Yes, so he is not on horse, he is on foot, and we are taking advantage of that by really engulfing him in fun activities for the family. I think this is Kostico and our king really trying to smash them, but King General Pietroporos is quite resilient, and it takes us quite a lot of time to deal with them, and just enough time for reinforcements, enemy reinforcements, to show up and kind of freak us, because this is the enemy cavalry. We are trying to scare them off with some pilums, but no, we actually have to counter their charge with our own charge. And I think this is Kostico answering their call to arms, while our king is still dealing with King General Pietroporos, who is, as I said, very annoyingly resilient. I think here we just abandon him, because he either broke or we just gave up. And we are still trying to deal with this flank's cavalry. But we spotted an opening. We broke contact with their cavalry, because look at these yummy archers that try to help their King General Pietroporos to deal with us quite successfully. But we had enough, and actually our princelings are trying to deal with the archers not so successfully, because they are lacking in numbers at this point, and they're still light cavalry. They're not the big boys. like this I think is the king. Oh. Plus yeah, the enemy shows no remorse and is actually shooting at their own men while they're engaged with us. And look how oh, this is the PEC, the Pelendava Equestrian Club, who are just slightly more armed than the princelings, and look how easy they broke one unit of archers. And they are bravely, because they're really lacking in numbers, because up until now in our quest for the glory of Zalmoxis, they were the ones that fought most of the enemy cavalry, because they were decently fast, and they faced the brunt of enemy cavalry, so they are really lacking in numbers. I think there are only like 70 of those, and they really charged and chased 3 archer units now. But eventually the king came to help the princelings, and that freed them. So all of our cavalry is now engaged in chasing the enemy archers. This helps, but it creates also lots of problems where we should have cavalry. So I guess I would use the magic of editing and show you where things went kind of wrong. And here we are at the left flank. And how do we know this is the left flank? Because first of all, King Tarbus, the first whose name, King of the Getae and the first man, the Godfather himself, is always right, and he's not here. And the enemy, the units that are left here are lacking. Look at these poor guys. There are only 79 of those, and only 174 of those. So this is really our weak flank. I don't know what I was thinking by doing it like this. And another interesting anecdote is the map. As you can see, I for some reason I was deluded when I saw this on the map, because I thought Zalmoxis created a river out of nowhere to try and help us in the fight, but alas, it was just a road. So now we have a very interesting, I guess it's the worst case scenario ever. We have enemy cavalry on our left flank, and we have no response at all for that. We have one unit of spear that is, well, half a unit of spear that is supposed to try and deal with them, but they're not really that agile. They can be hit from all sides. So we are trying to compensate by moving the youth to act as some kind of range unit, and also a unit of X-Men to just try and fight when this happens, when the enemy charges us at our most exposed. At this point I decided the spears are just so slow and so unmaneuverable that I'm not even gonna try and deal with the cavalry. They will do their own thing, and I guess we will address the shenanigans there, but not for now. Now we will concentrate on this really annoying part of the enemy cavalry, that they are really doing a number on our poor youths and X-Men. And no, apparently they got enough. They just no, yeah, they are charging us again, and this is really bad for us, because there's not a spear amongst them. 2 regiments, or what's left of regiments, and no one brought a spear for some reason to deal with cavalry. But we do have pillums, and they help. This was the bane of our existence. This unit of cavalry, they really pinned down most of our left flank, as you saw, at least 3 units. But we did manage to, after we dealt with most of the enemy archers, to charge at them, I think with a pack. Yes, with the Pelendava Equestrian Club. We pinned them, and then just slowly dealt with them. So now let's look at the scuffle in the middle. So let's follow what happens in the center, in the thick of it, where the look at this line, this line of death, this lawnmower of enemy combatants, 4 regiments of Volksmen, and these are 4 regiments of Volksmen running in unison towards our lines. We are trying to focus one of the units in the middle with all of our archers. That's at least 3 units. So in theory that will deal with them, but still the impact will be painful. Oh, this is nice, raining death on them. But will that be enough? Because look, 2 units are making contact with our Xenos scum regiment. And enemy fire, so they are really doing their job while dying in the name of Zalmoxis. They're like a magnet. I guess the enemy really senses that they are our weakest link. Now here we did an interesting maneuver. We sent the Celto-Thracian sellswords from here, from the center, and actually brought the Puturatense to the thick of it, to the middle. For the first time ever, we are not trying to flank with them, and they are holding the center quite well. Although this is so chaotic, so many Volksmen, too many Volksmen, just too many Volksmen. I think they are pinned down by at least 4 or 5 units of enemy combatants, and it's quite a struggle. Now, to the uninitiated, this might just look like 2 mortal armies engaged in mortal combat, but this is so much more. This is a clash of titans, a clash between 2 gods. On one side, Zalmoxis, once a slave to the great Pythagoras himself. He then came to Dacia and gave the Dacians the wonderful gift of math. So a scholar and probably somewhat of a nerd. And on the other hand, we have the voluptuous seductress of Cotis, that her worshippers have orgies during the night. We might have chosen the wrong god, frankly. And this was actually the moment of contact between our Volksmen and the enemy Volksmen. We reluctantly came back in time because there was a power outage, and I lost footage of my previous recording. So yeah, shit happens. And it's really, again, one of those annoying instances where it's hard to differentiate between combatants. Hopefully this will be the last time when we fight our own brethren. It's just so very sad that they fell under the sway of a succubus, an evil succubus in the form of the goddess Cotis. So them and their stupid sex cult need to be stopped by force. And let's look at our right infantry flank. We are doing excellent here, because we focused the fire on one of the units of the Volksmen and totally broke them just in time. And then we came with our youths, as we are supposed to do, come and just pelt with pilums enemy fighters to really help this unit of Sikas, which is supposed to be some kind of shock infantry, but they're not really. They are the lowest form of shock infantry that we have, and they are struggling despite, well, not struggling, but just not killing fast enough. You know, because the Sika is not a Folks. A Folks count a man in 2, and the Folks is more, it's well, less deadly. But eventually, with the help of the youth, we do manage to break this unit of militia, and now we are taking position into outflanking the enemy and totally devastating the enemy right flank, while we are also picking off stragglers like this guy. Oh, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy. Quite oof. And this is pilum throwing competition, because apparently the Seekers still had some. And what a lovely view of the battlefield in general. Oh, and oh, this is a silly charge. I really like. Let's pause and let's look a bit at how they look at the Seeker charge. This is funny animations. At least I think they're a bit. But I don't know how you could animate a charging Seeker. They just flail about with the Seeker above their head. I guess that's how they would do it also in real life. So just looks a bit silly, I think. And oh, this is these are the enemy elites. These are the best at the sex cult. So they got oh, they even have a phallic weapon. They have their Getaean chosen spears. So apparently they're the heretics of the heretics. They're supposed to be Getae, just like us, but no, they are fighting for the Apulii in their heretical, shameful, and disgraceful defenders of Kotis' army. They are literally the chosen of the goddess Kotis, fighting with the long phallic spear. But not for long. Apparently they have some kind of spear erectile dysfunction, and we managed to deal with them. Well, I guess if we manage to break the elites of the army, the victory is ours for the taking. It's now just up to us to mop up the stragglers, and there are a lot of stragglers. Look, all the enemy just broke all of a sudden, and oh, look at this carnage! Look at this carnage! Poor people, they really did a number on us. Those elite units of spear, which we, by the way, can't recruit because we are so poor. We can't even afford their building. So yeah. Now it's just I guess the cavalry will just run around and pick up wonderful slaves for our new. Or should we kill them? I don't even know. Might just ransom them because we are so poor. And here we are preparing for the lovely. Here there was the Folks and Folks action, and you can see it. Oh my. Look at all this blood. A man cut in 2 and 3 and 4s. Some kind of a quartering. And it went surprisingly well. Despite a lot of indications that it won't go our way. Because this is still a young army. I think this is only our 8th battle with them. And I guess this is anticlimactic parade, because all of our cavalry is still chasing down lots of enemies. So I guess the ones that are actually going to get celebrated are the youths. Or no, they they don't want to be celebrated. But no, we will honor them. Down with what is this? Oh, even these are the Xenoscum. They didn't route it. They did break, because of course that's their job, and I totally forgot that they existed. But apparently they did have a gathering and decided, wait, the Getae actually won, so we should stop here and go back because they will pay us.
I can't believe it! We won!
We won! I can't believe it! We won! You have little faith. You silly Xenos scum. You don't have faith in our one true God, Zalmoxis, who literally guided us quite aggressively to this moment, because we didn't really want to fight the Apulii. And here we are at the best parts of these videos, the showing of the numbers. And everybody performed really well. Despite the Xenoscum only have 33 kills, look how much of them died. So they did their job splendidly, because each one of them dying is someone else not dying, someone like the Puturatense, who are actually valuable as men. So yeah, in terms of MVPs, I guess the Peck should get that, because they have 542 kills, and this is despite being at something like 70% strength, and also actually fighting real units for the most part. So yeah, not bad. Plus they are a lot. They are not as fast as the our princelings, who are the fastest unit ever, and they still manage to chase down and kill almost as many units as them. Other than that, any more impressive numbers? Not really, I guess. The archers did a lot of damage, mostly because the enemy came shirtless, which is a blessing for them. And one of the youths, the youths that are the lucky youths that were sent to the right flank, where the king was, picked up 274 kills, which is wonderful. The Puturatense only got 231 and also got quite battered, but they did hold the center. The Celto-Thracian sellsword almost didn't lose anybody, which is why I like them, because they deal damage but also don't suffer as much casualties, and they did got involved into the thick of it. And other than that, I think the Sikas also excels, 301 compared to almost 3 times more kills than the X-Men, but the X-Men did fight horsemen, so I guess it all evens out. Other than that, just wonderful performance from everybody. Well, what to do? I guess just because we are so poor, we will ransom them. Maybe we shouldn't anger Kotis too much, because they probably still have some kind of support inside the city. So, see you in the next exciting episode of Let's Get It On.